So effectively, a record label is kind of like a bank investing in you, but also a bank with some clout that can get hold of some high-end people to push your career forward, which is fantastic. But in which case, when it comes to leverage, what are the things that you need to watch out for when you are signing your record contract? So effectively, now, a big bone of contention with artists is how long they are signed for. Usually, once they've already been signed, become successful, and seen how much money is being made by a label, and they say, hang on a minute, this is completely unfair. But everything is in that contract that you first signed. And when you're an up-and-coming artist, that label, they probably will want you for as long as possible, or at least the option for as long as possible. So you have to be very, very careful what you're signing up for. Now, a big bone of contention with artists.
And when we came in the door, our advance was between the three of us was like 100 G's. And you charged us $3 million to let go. And you had a publishing for half for 10 years now. And we've been trying to, we've been quiet. You know, people be like, y'all wild, or y'all
so behind the scenes, you've been dealing with this for a long time?
We're on our 7th lawyer.
Is that Puffy on 11? Puffy's on 11. You want to talk to him?
Hell yeah.
Now, a big bone of contention with artists is how long they are signed for. Usually, once they've already been signed, become successful, and seen how much money is being made by a label, and they say, hang on a minute, this is completely unfair. But everything is in that contract that you first signed. And when you're...
First time I went on a tour, it was with Master P.
I was the first one to put 50 Cent on tour. I paid for his tour.
What I say about Peace, he was slick big. Like, he came, he gave me the money for 8 shows, right? We did 4 of them. He said, oh man, something happened. We got to have to take a break. We just come back and do the other 4 later. When I came back to do the other 4, I had already sold 2 million.
At today's price, huh?
He had already paid me, so I had to do the shows. But
he put them last 4s together around you.
He knew, big. He was like, yo, look, he came, he's like, this motherfucker's on fire. He's going, this is going to go off. And he said, yo, so he paid for the 8 shows. We did 4 of them. And then he was like, yo, man, it's happening. It's a problem. You know, we're going to take a break, and then we come back for the last 4. You know, you already got paid, so don't worry. We do the...
And you said by that time.
By the time I came back to do the last 4, I was already double platinum. I was like, yo. First time I went on a tour, it was with Master.
This is where you get so many artists who 10 or 20 years down the line are crying because they didn't sign something good. They signed anything. Yes, please, I just want to be famous and rich and get my music out there. And they signed their soul to the devil. This is where you get so many artists.
So when you got signed to Bad Boy in the first place, you sold your publishing to Puff, right?
Nah, this is what happens when you young and black and coming off the street and coming from high school or wherever you coming from. You don't really know what's going on, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And these lawyers, you got to charge some of it to the lawyers too.
Definitely.
You know
letting you get in that
yeah.
situation.
You got to charge yourself first and foremost for putting your John Hancock on the paper.
So when you got signed to Bad Boy in the first place, you sold.
Key phrases also like commercially viable, which is where the label says you have to write hits, and if we don't think they're hits, we're not allowing you to put it out. Now that could be the difference between stalling your whole career, or 1 or 2, 3 albums down, all of a sudden you're trying to get out of your contract and going, just put something together, and they're saying, no, 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 this is still gonna make us some money. Key phrases also like commercially.
These remember, they the streets. They not making no #1 top 10 pop records. They the streets. So they sitting there crying like, remember, they the streets. They not making no #1 top 10 pop records. They the streets. So they sitting there crying.
5 million records and couldn't get an endorsement deal because of the negativity in my music. And I looked at it, and it's kind of hard when you think about it, because think about it, I sold 75 million records and couldn't get an endorsement deal because of the negativity in my music. And I
had like So Into You with the Tamia Ashanti joint. I had Can't Let You Go. I had a bunch. I had Traded All with the Jagged Edge. I had a bunch of you know, the female friendly radio cuts. At that time too, radio was dominant body.
Yeah,
You had to
boom.
make
Oh,
those
yeah.
kind of songs to be on radio.
100%.
So I had like So Into You with the Tamia.
Another one is repayable advances. Ooh, what you don't want to happen is for this deal to be over and all of a sudden you still have debt. That debt needs to be just like any other business debt. We're going to go into this together, but you are taking on the financial responsibility, not me. It isn't going to be, I'm taking this away, and if it all works out, you get loads of money, and if it doesn't work out, you get loads of money. That absolutely can't happen. Because if that is the case, just go get a bank loan.
We made one album with you. Years ago, we came in the game. We paid $3 million to get off. Close to $3 million.
I gotta pay him $300,000.
You made, Lord knows what you made off the Benjamins.
Every time I put out a solo album, he gotta get an advance of $300,000.
We made one album with you. Years ago, we came in the game. We paid $3 million to get off. Close to $3 million.
I gotta pay him $300,000.
You made, Lord knows what you made off the Benjamins.
Every time